Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, November the 10th, 2014. Of course, live, tape delayed since we have the time difference, coming to you from Liverpool in England, United Kingdom. Trying to was attempted British accent, sorry about that. Home of the Beatles. Of course, we're 2 weeks away from Survivor Series. Well, it was an interesting one tonight. A lot of Survivor Series implications. We got at least one more match added for Survivor Series. Plus, finally, new members were added to both the main event teams for Survivor Series' main event, Team Authority against Team Cena. Start off right off the bat with a new member of Team Authority being revealed. As the Authority kicked off like they always do, coming out with Mark Henry joining them. So we began Raw with Mark Henry, and the teams would flip-flop a lot throughout the evening. We began Raw with Mark Henry joining Seth Rollins and Kane. And we'd also begin Raw with John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. Now, those two have been named already. And apparently John Cena coming out doing this Authority segment, calling out that Jack Swagger's joined him. Well, both Authority and John Cena were out to scout or kind of lure to their team Ryback. Now, Ryback is slated to take on John Cena tonight in our main event this evening. Now, I said on my Tech Sports, why would they have Ryback, who's supposed to be a babyface, got to team up against Cena? Could be leading towards some for Survivor Series. Well, it kind of did. As Ryback kind of laid out his statement that he would be joining Team Authority by laying out John Cena with a spinebuster. Thus, it would be a 4-3 situation. That there'd be 4 members of the Authority and 3 members of John Cena's team. Well, it would make me going down to 2. As our first match is set to go on with Seth Rollins, the captain of Team Authority, taking on Jack Swagger, who had signed up to be on Team Cena. Despite Jack Swagger's all of his best efforts, especially his counters with the Patriot Lock. By the way, UK crowd, once again, wired up again. As usual, I love UK crowds. Whether it's WWE or TNA, I love it in WWE or TNA or in UK. They're always some of the best shows of the year. Because the crowd's always into it. And this is no exception. Especially when Cena came out during the opening segment. They're like, John Cena sucks. I love that. Anyway. That's why British fans make the War after WrestleMania so awesome. Anyway. So we had Rollins against Swagger. It was a dead shot matchup with 2 great athletes. Putting on a decent little matchup. When of course the security team for Rollins at ringside, of course, the cronies, Jamie Noble, who got a chant, by the way. No one chanted Joey Mercury, though, unless I didn't hear it. So despite Swagger's best efforts to get the big win with numerous counters into the Patriot Lock, it was the security team who kind of held them back and got fed. I think got whammed outside the ring. He got tossed back in to the curb stomp. In the 1-2-3 victory for Rollins. Actually, People Pacific Swagger was tossed outside and went into the ring post. Then got back in for the curb stomp in the victory for Rollins. But he wasn't done. He curb stomped Swagger again in a post-match attack with another curb stomp. And Swagger was laid out, and all the doctors came out. And apparently Swagger is not going to be able to compete at Survivor Series. So like I said, went from 3 to 2. The original 2, Dolph Ziggler and John Cena. Taking on 4 big men on Team Authority side. Like I said, the lineup, the old saying goes, lineup is always subject to change. What? Looking at the internet right now. Speaking of WWE, guys, hey, John Morrison's on a new show, Lucha Underground. Damn. He's so indie now. Missing with WWE. I liked John Morrison. I liked him. Speaking of Authority holding people down, I think the Authority backstage held John Morrison back. My humble opinion. Same with Shelton Benjamin. Anyway, let's continue on with Wall this evening. But of course, like I said, new matches were made Survivor Series. Instead of Attack Sports, they just added officially AJ to take on Nikki Bella. And they also added Bray Wyatt against Dean Ambrose. Now, I said in my Attack Sports and also my Wall review last week, that I predicted that Seth Rollins' former Shield mate, Dean Ambrose, would have a match against Bray Wyatt. But I thought maybe there'd be in a Survivor Series match. I thought maybe they'd be on John Cena's team, the Authority's team, to hype up their feud. Because that's what good old traditional Survivor Series matches used to be. All about getting all these rivals and putting them in a match to hype up their feud. I thought they're going to do that with Wyatt and Ambrose to hype up a possible singles match at TLC. Or maybe they all going to have a match at TLC, but maybe some sort of screwy ending at Survivor Series. So they all going to have a singles match at Survivor Series. And I think the way they're doing it, very intriguing, because every time Dean Ambrose tries to get his hands on Wyatt, Wyatt just sneaks away, and his creepiness is getting more creepy than ever, especially his promo again tonight. Bray Wyatt's back. The good old Bray Wyatt's back. Just the creepy Bray Wyatt. He's back on track after a little detour. And he's all by himself. As, of course, Harper and Warren are now on their own. We would see them throughout the evening in other scenarios. Now on to the next matchup. We are in England. We need an English athlete to compete on Raw. Since Bad News Barrett's still out with his knee injury, I did see a sign for him. Is he coming back soon? Who knows? Another British woman, should I say, would fill the void that the British wrestler was not going to be able to compete. Mr. Barrett, being, of course, Paige, will take on her former bestie, Alicia Fox. Of course, saw their breakup of their friendship for Alicia Fox inadvertently costing Paige her title shot at Hell in a Cell by sending her basically to get black widowed by AJ. So now these two had a fight, and it was okay. With Paige, despite Alicia Fox's feistiness and just pounding all over Paige in the early going, Paige would eventually get the victory with the Rampage and the victory for the former Divas champion, trying to get back in the title hunt. As of course, we got a new number contender now, it being Nikki Bella, who we shall see later on in the evening with her assistant, Brie Bella. After that Hell in a Cell match as well, when Brie lost and had to be Nikki's assistant for a month. So there you go. It was an okay matchup by me. Now on to our next matchup. Before we get to that, we had a celebration for the new United States champion, Rusev. Now, of course, last week during my review, the title match took place on the network after Raw. Now, I said it last week and I'll say it again. I understand why WWE did what they did. Why they had Rusev and Sheamus have them on the network and have Sheamus lose the U.S. Championship to Rusev on the network to entice people to subscribe for free. But I still thought it should have been on Raw, because I thought it would be a DQ or a countout on the network. So before Rusev would have his celebration, he would have Stephanie McMahon calling him to be on Team Authority. Now, he was asked last week, and he had no answer for Stephanie last week, and this week, same thing. That was until the celebration took place, and he had like all these Russian people there, playing up the heat and everything, being United States champion, anti-American. And here comes Sheamus interrupting the Russian national anthem and attacking Rusev, going towards the rematch. Sheamus against Rusev for the United States Championship rematch. Now, this match had the ending I thought was going to be last week. DQ or countout. That's what they should have done. Instead of having the title change on the network, they should have had the DQ on the network to set up for next week's Raw. Still kind of disagree with it being on a network, a title change, but to entice people and really sell the network for free this month for new subscribers, they had to do it. Like I said, I knew their purpose, but they should have never done it. That was my opinion. I have the network, but it's pushed down people's throats a lot. If you had a drink for every time the WWE Network was mentioned tonight on the show, you'd be fucking drunk in a hurry. Probably within an hour, you'd be fucking drunk. Maybe an hour and a half. By the time the third hour came around, you'd be fucking wasted. If you had a shot every time they met the network. Anyway, Sheamus was, of course, incensed on getting back the United States Championship, getting it off the hands of Rusev. But like I said, with the authorities trying to court Rusev, they decided to have their insurance policy, their security goonies, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury out there to kind of entice Rusev even more to join Team Authority. So Rusev looked really good. So did Sheamus in an okay little matchup with, of course, the chants heavy doing most of these matches. Especially doing this, JBL chants, Jerry like all again, it goes, ole, 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 boring chants. Because it was okay. It was mostly punching and kicking. Two guys just running around punching and kicking each other. It was an okay matchup. And with the big kicks and all. But of course, Rusev ducked the pro kick. He never got an opportunity to put Sheamus in that accolade again. But he pummeled on Sheamus throughout the matchup. And of course, the ending would come as Rusev and Sheamus would brawl outside the ring. And Rusev would get back into the ring before the count of 10. With the cronies, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, holding back Sheamus from getting back in the ring before the count. Now, like I said earlier, they needed to have this on the network, have the ending. Like, I thought they would not have a title change on the network. They should have had a DQ count out to set up a rematch on tonight's Raw. And have Rusev be the champion tonight. But I would understand they don't want to have to be a new champion in front of a British crowd. So, Rusev beat up on Sheamus after the matchup a little bit, celebrating the count-out victory over Sheamus. And after the matchup, Rusev would go backstage, and he would officially join Team Authority. So, 5 men were named for the Authority's team. And of course, like I said earlier, that would not last long. As of this moment, we would have Sheamus' opponent, Rusev, for the night, Mark Henry, Seth Rollins, Kane, and Ryback against Cena and Dolph at this moment in the show. And of course, like I said, everything would change. Head on down to our next matchup. Of course, a tag team affair as one comedy team took on another comedy team as Los Matadores. With, of course, El Trito in their corner took on the Miz's. Yep, Miz and Mizdow, along with Mini Miz, Hornswoggle. Now, I've been saying on all my reviews lately, been watching my reviews, about applauding Mizdow for taking this character and really embracing it, and the fans are starting to love it, because I hope that this helps Sandow get back in the main event picture where he fucking belongs, with the fan reaction, especially tonight in Britain, once again with the "We Want Mizdow" chants. And I like the way they did it, though. With every time, I remember Miz teased the tag and he refused. And then he finally tagged in Miz out. And he only got it for like 10 seconds. And Miz tagged himself back in. That was kind of a playoff, That's kind of a shitty move. But hey, to get heat on you. Like I said, I hope this leads to Mizdow finally turning on Miz and getting the main event picture. Finally. And doesn't get demoted again. Like what happened with him and Cena when he tried to cash in Money in the Bank last year. So, Los Matadores had their own flying moves. And called El Torito and Hornswoggle Miz got involved in the matchup as well. And of course, Mizdow was of course the culprit in the result of the matchup. As Miz delivered, of course, his big famous moves. And getting a pin. And with Mizdow holding the legs underneath the ring of the Los Matadores. 1-2-3 victory for Miz and Mizdow, with Miz getting the victory for his team, not Mizdow. It was an interesting, okay, funny little tag team match. Once again, Mizdow getting a lot of crowd reaction. I hope it leads to something for Mizdow. Now, I want to talk about some side things for a minute. Some segments that happened during the show, of course. We saw Warren come out doing a match. And another promo from Harper. Now, I did not mention this last week, but I'll say it. There was a promo last week that aired again tonight involving Xavier Woods. Apparently he's got a new character, like a new day. With his choir singing like a new day, And then we saw another promo like this later on with Kofi Kingston. Now, there had been a start a couple months ago with them starting with, I think it was them two. I forgot who was with them. But they were seemingly trying to start a new Nation of Domination. And that would have been a whole lot interesting if they did that then. But now we've seen that apparently the Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods team is still going on. And they're going to come back as new characters. I'm going to love Kofi Kingston's new character for once. You know, I love this, happy-go-lucky, Jamaican-me-crazy promo gimmick. But I think Adam Rose has seen the light that happy-go-lucky gimmick don't get you nowhere. I'll talk about him in a minute. So I think Kofi Kingston had a new character with Xavier Woods that could really help both of their careers and try to give them both out of that mid-card once and for all, getting rid of their gimmicks once and for all. Now on to our next matchup. Of course, more damage, more punishment, should I say, for anyone who would join John Cena's team in the Survivor Series against the Authority. With the course of stipulation added last week by the surprise Vince McMahon appearance, then of course if the Authority shall lose, they lose their power. So the punishment continues as Mark Henry, like I said, one of the newest members of the team, would take on Dolph Ziggler. Of course, not a ton of match. Crowd was of course on Ziggler's side. A lot of Ziggler chants, and of course Ziggler trying to use his flashy moves and his speed to get up an advantage over the power of Mark Henry. It was an okay little matchup for what it was. Ziggler trying to hold his own against Mark Henry, but of course they brought outside the ring, leading Mark Henry, nailing Dolph Ziggler with a steel chair, causing a disqualification with Mark Henry losing and Ziggler win by DQ. But Mark Henry wasn't done. He was ready to world's strongest slam Dolph Ziggler on the steel steps, the exact same thing that he did the Big Show last week. Speak of the devil, here comes the Big Show to make the save before Ziggler would get slammed on the steps by Mark Henry, clearing the ring as Mark Henry scurried out, and Big Show revealed that he would join Team Cena. I kind of predicted that Big Show would be involved, because after I saw Mark Henry get named to Team Authority tonight, I was like, Big Show's going to get added to the team. And I was right on that. And then when Rusev got added to Team Authority, I was like, maybe Sheamus is going to get added. In the backstage segment, Sheamus would also join the team as well. And like I said earlier, this is what traditional Survivor Series matches back in the day were made for. Rivals to settle their feuds in these matches. With rivals Mark Henry and Big Show in this matchup, and Rusev and Sheamus, and it'll make things more interesting. So, it's 4 versus 5 at this point in the show. With John Cena being joined by Big Show, Ziggler, and Sheamus against the big 5 guys of the Authority. Like I said, Rollins, Kane, Mark Henry, Ryback, and Rusev. See how that ends up by the end of the evening. So let's get on down to our next match, which was the Divas Champion AJ Lee coming out for a non-title match against Brie Bella, being forced to compete against the Divas Champ against her by her sister Nikki Bella, who's, like I said, making Brie be her assistant for a month after losing at Hell in a Cell. Now, for the matches last week, I think AJ was in a match, or AJ was at ringside last week, and Brie was forced to slap AJ last week. Well, Brie used all her momentum and used all of her aggression that she wanted to take on Nikki Bella, but can't until this whole thing ends with her being her assistant in a couple weeks. Because if she does take out her aggression against Nikki during this, she has to leave WWE. She tried to take out all of her aggression on AJ. Brought to go into Brie mode in his okay little Divas matchup. But of course, AJ would get the last word in as Brie mode went into Black Widow mode for AJ with the tap out. But as AJ was making Brie tap out, Nikki would come in from behind, attack AJ, breaking the hold, delivering the rack attack, and delivering her own message to the Divas Champion, holding the belt up high. Maybe a message for what's to come with Nikki Bella at Survivor Series. I will guarantee this. I bet you that Brie Bella will be a factor in the ending of the matchup. Whether it's for Nikki Bella or against Nikki Bella, Brie's going to be involved in the ending. It's going to be a culprit. It's going to be the catalyst for the end result of the match between AJ and Nikki at Survivor Series. Because it'll be right as the Brie Bella assistant job is supposed to end with her and Nikki. So like I said, something's going to happen there. Brie's going to either cost Nikki the title or help Nikki win the title. Something's going to go down with Brie being the catalyst for the result at Survivor Series. Now on to our next matchup. Tyson Kidd. Man, it's cool to see Tyson Kidd on the main show because I love NXT on the network. And I love to hear him being on the network, being on NXT's really defined his character. He got a count-out victory against Sheamus last week, which was a sign of things to come for Sheamus losing the U.S. Championship later on that night on the WWE Network after Raw. So Tyson was on Raw again this week, taking on Adam Rose. Now, Tyson Kidd, I love him being on, and he wasn't with Natalia this week, being a Shield like she was last week against Sheamus. So without Natalia, it was Tyson Kidd's turn to shine. But as Tyson was shining and Adam Rose was trying to shine on, an okay little matchup, and doing his flashing moves, the Bunny, who has been a problem for Adam Rose, distracted him again. He was trying to go off the top rope, but that distraction kind of helped Tyson Kidd, as he took advantage of that distraction, locking in the sharpshooter in the victory for Tyson Kidd. And Adam Rose once again took out his aggression on the Bunny. But it's kind of weird, he's still partying with his Exotic Express. Now, like I said earlier, we had that video with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston ditching their happy-go-lucky attitudes and portraying heel characters. I'm going to love their new characters. And that's what I think Adam Rose is figuring out. His happy-go-lucky gimmick is not paying off. He's attacking the Bunny, who's now becoming more of a problem than a help. I would love to see Adam Rose as a heel. His happy-go-lucky character, I said it when he first debuted, it can take him so far. And I think he finally realizes it. He's attacking the Bunny. Hopefully he'll turn heel soon. It'll be intriguing to see some new of Adam Rose. It could help his career. You know, with a good heel character. Turning on the Bunny and everything. We'll see how this goes. Now on to our next matchup. John Cena against Ryback. Now, of course, as we began this match, and by the way, before I get to the main event intervention, like I said, Harper and Warren were involved in tonight's Raw in some way. Warren came out during the Adam Rose match looking for somebody. I think it was Renee Young, because last week he was interrupting an interview with Renee Young and sniffing Renee Young's hair because I heard him say tonight on Raw, looking for this person. She's not here. Maybe it's Renee Young. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that's Warren's current storyline, looking for Renee Young. See how far that goes. So now we got Cena and Ryback. Now Ryback, even though he joined Team Authority, there were some signs of tension. As we saw segments with Ryback being talked to advice by his fellow Authority teammates, and Ryback didn't seem keen on taking their advice. Cena being his own man. It didn't seem like that, as Ryback was taking control of Cena. He would have a little argument with Kane. It would be inadvertently tossed into Kane by Cena. Typical Cena match. These two guys had a feud last year. It's kind of rare seeing these two wrestle again. And at least Ryback didn't properly lose this time like he did with Cena in the past. You know, like he didn't win clean. He didn't lose clean to Cena. So, despite Ryback's big power, it was an okay match with him and Cena. It was decent. Typical Super Cena match, but still. It was decent with, of course, Ryback trying to nail Cena numerous times with the meat hook and the big shell shot. And, of course, Cena did have on the STFU many times in the matchup against Ryback. And trying to come back from the Ryback barrage is, of course, every time Cena was trying to get momentum, Ryback would take him down again with power moves, stopping his head on, the man and all this shit. But Cena looked like he was going for that victory after nailing the STFU various times. And going for the FU. Kane was trying to get in, distracting Cena. He got knocked off. But as Cena was going for a big move, Kane would come in and attack Cena in the ring, causing disqualification. and the beatdown began for the Authority. But Kane and Ryback were still having their problems after that argument during early on in the matchup. So Ryback knocked off Kane. He beat up everybody in the Authority. But Ryback was laid out by the Authority, so they focused on Cena. And here comes Sheamus, and here comes Big Show. They were banned from ringside. Team Cena was banned from ringside during the matchup, but Team Authority stayed at ringside for this matchup. So after the match, here comes Team Cena. Or what was remaining of Team Cena. So we saw Big Show come out. We saw Sheamus come out and get pummeled. But then Ryback would get back up and pummel everybody in Authority. And it looks like Ryback may be joining John Cena's team. Because I thought, wait a minute. When I heard that Cena was going to wrestle Ryback tonight, I was like, isn't Ryback supposed to be babyface in this case? There could be some kind of swerve going on. And it kind of was. It looked like Ryback was in the Authority. Now he's out of the Authority. So the teams would change yet again. As of this moment, we have on Team Authority. Actually, let's look at Team Cena for now. We saw Cena get bubbled, and we saw Big Show and Sheamus come out. But wait, where was Dolph Ziggler? Why didn't we see Ziggler come out? Well, we found out why. We saw Triple H and Stephanie backstage watching Cena applauding Ryback for turning on the Authority tonight. And then we saw a prone Dolph Ziggler body thrown into the Authority's locker room by Luke Harper, saying that if Ryback's not a team player, I can be. So apparently they switched immediately. Like the Authority thinks just like that. We lose somebody, we gain somebody in a hurry. So Ryback's out, quickly, Luke Harper's in, apparently. So, here is the current lineup for Team Cena and Team Authority as of this moment, as we end this War review tonight. Team Authority, it is Seth Rollins, Kane, Rusev, and Mark Henry. And apparently, stemming from the end of War tonight, Luke Harper's now in. And on Team Cena, we got John Cena, Big Show, Sheamus, probably Ryback would join. And when it comes to Dolph Ziggler, well, he was attacked by Luke Harper. Who knows if he's going to be winning out the match. But as of right now, Ziggler is on Team Cena. And if Ryback officially joins, which will probably be next week, we got 5-on-5 for Survivor Series, the big main event. Speaking of next week, Grumpy Cat is going to be on Raw next week. Are you fucking kidding me? An internet meme is going to be on Raw? I know they're going social and shit, but they really sunk low when it comes to getting the guest stars. They're getting a fucking internet meme. Fucking Grumpy Cat. What's it going to be? The new member of the Exotic Express? He's going to replace the bunny? And this is going to be the week before Survivor Series, by the way. The wall before Survivor Series, you're going to have a Grumpy Cat. What the fuck? So there you go. See what happens next week on Raw. So okay, one night in London. We have 5-on-5 in Survivor Series as of this moment, unless Ziggler gets injured of some sort after getting attacked by Luke Harper. Apparently, a new member of Team Authority. And we got a new match added. Dean Ambrose and Wyatt should have been in the Survivor Series match, traditional match. And I hope more matches get added, including another traditional Survivor Series match, and a lot more. See what happens next week as we head towards Survivor Series in 13 days. That is it for the Attacks review of Monday Night Raw tonight. Thank you very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you all later. Have a great night. And happy not Memorial Day. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Salute to all the veterans out there, living or dead, who gave their lives for our country. No matter what the shitty reason is, we thank you. Salute. And good night. See ya.